CalazCon is a show about war, obsession, colonialist occupation, and the many forms of violence those inflict. See the description for content warnings specific to this episode.
Misty's drive is to just disappear because Misty has been in this war since he was a teenager in high school and has never been let out of the field.
The character's name is Roses and Clover, a military surgeon turned vigilante serial killer. This doctor, tier 5.
And I'm going to make body pillows. They're gonna put those old men in some situations, I'll tell you that much.
And explosions are going off all over Hall H, rocking mechs that were set up at parade rest waiting for their part.
And that'll bring us to Misty's final free downtime activity.
Misty's probably going to cut loose to drop some stress.
Okay, Misty, who are you going to cut loose with, and what are you doing?
Cutting loose with Basel after she helped out with the ballet song. Misty kind of wants to pay her back a little bit and maybe talk to her some about what she's trying to do for her future based on his beliefs about her.
What activity are you going to be up to? Are you just hanging around the FOB, doing chores, sitting on the roof of the train, going out and about around town?
Misty finds tickets for a CalazCon event that has like a clip show of all the times the Ironmongers appeared in the Calazar universe.
Aw.
Don't that, it's a clip show.
It's sharing interest.
It's rapid 5 seconds of Iron Mong on screen. It's the most. It's the most.
What they're watching. It's why they're watching.
It's the most. Your dad heard you. Heard you like sports.
And that's so sweet.
Basil, are you up for this downtime?
Yes, absolutely. Sorry.
Well, we're back in Hall H, one of the smaller side venues that only has like 7 or 8 gigantic vid screens around the perimeter. They don't provide seating in Hall H, it's bring your own. So most people are out here with their folding chairs or their blankets or just park benches that they stole, etc., etc. It's a real tailgate party atmosphere for the Ironmonger clip show highlights panel.
Wow, I can't believe they're doing a sports event here in CalazCon.
Yeah, it turns out the Ironmongers showed up a lot throughout the episodes.
I mean, there's probably like a sponsorship deal. You know, the Ironmongers were like, hey, we'll pay you some money. You can get us some rep. Maybe we can pick up some talent from the show when they're done with the show.
Mm-hmm.
And we can benefit, quid pro quo.
Brilliant.
It would have been brilliant if it worked.
Never got the talent.
Never got the talent. Who's going to quit CalazCon? That's a gig for life.
True.
I'm sorry, Calazar. CalazCon, the con about Calazar.
Can I add that there's definitely a poster of "Have you seen this woman?" and it's like the world's worst Photoshop of a person that like has the only thing that is similar to Basel is her haircut. Everything else is entirely the wrong type of person.
Oh, incredible.
The wanted posters are out already.
Oh, they're getting closer this time.
What's your current belief about Basel, Misty?
Misty's current belief is that he feels like Basil's idea of returning to a simple life is naive. And that's kind of what Misty wants to like talk to Basel about, is just to better understand what Basil's plans are and see if he kind of feels like he needs to warn her that like, hey, you know, after all this, like things aren't just going to be the same.
Says a person who's been in war literally their entire adult life.
Yes, Misty like has been in war for as long as he can remember, but also feels like clearly he knows like what's up and what's going on, whether he does or not. There's a big part of him stuck in that like 16-year-old know-it-all phase.
Tell you what, let's test the temperature of the scene and go ahead and make your fortune roll with 1 die because of your current belief. And let's see how much stress you recover from this interaction.
Ooh.
Well, Misty, you've recovered 2 stress. This...
Guess you don't like the sport.
I think it's too stressed because all of you said the sport.
So, why'd you call me out here? Like, you know, I love going to Ironmonger stuff, but like, you know, you don't strike me as an Ironmonger fan. This is like a local team, you know, my place, where I live, from where I'm from.
Yeah, you know, there's always room to study more things, have more to pull from. But, you know, I wanted to find a way to say thanks for helping out with the ballet song and all. You did a lot of good work there, and just kind of see, you know, what I know you want to kind of return back home and all when this is all done. But what are your plans? You
know, Killian's Cars was kind of a family business, and you know, I'm the only family that's left, so it's up to me. You know, I got to reopen the place, and I don't know, maybe not in. I hate to do it, but maybe not in Bastock again, because man, like I just barely remember the last time the place got attacked, and then things were kind of okay, and then they got attacked again. And fucking stomped my whole place. Like, there's got to be a safer place to set up than there.
Can you really go back to being a mechanic after all of this? That seems like a big change.
Not really. This job's been the big change for me. Although, to be fair, working on a mech is kind of like working on a big car, except it can shoot people. Most cars can't shoot people. At least not the ones I deal with. So it's, you know, it's not really that different, because I got, you know, shunted into being a mechanic here. You know, there'll be way less bombs, honestly, and that'll be, I don't know, I can deal with it. Like, it was fun, like, I blew up most of Hall H, you know, you can still see kind of like some of the craters around here. But, as fun as it is, you know, I can just do bottle rockets from now on.
It doesn't seem like it'd really have the same bang.
I mean, I'm forced to be here, so, you know, might as well use all that material that keeps coming in.
Misty's attempting to pull the, you like all the exploding, don't you?
I think so a little bit. But I think Misty's also like kind of realizing, to the point that you just said, Misty never even thought about the fact that like you didn't choose to be here.
Did you choose to be here?
Of course. I mean, you know, you're 16, you're in high school. They say, hey, we can teach you all these great skills and you can fight, you know, and help the war effort. Why wouldn't you choose to be here?
You see them on Twitch streams every day?
Yeah. I mean, they used to
Misty.
Show up in my For You feed like constantly for me for some reason.
I'm sorry. My For You feed, because the algorithm knew I was a basic bitch, would make a great spy.
Misty has the incredible energy of that one Vine about you're disrespecting a future U.S. Army soldier. But that kid grew up.
Unfortunately, yeah, it's the vibe of that kid 20 years later.
Misty, like, you think, like, those recruiters are all over, but, I mean, sometimes people buy into it and sometimes people don't.
Well, I mean, it seemed like a great opportunity, and, you know, who doesn't want to be the behind the scenes expert?
How's that working out for you?
I mean, it was fun at first, but I kept, you know, expecting to be able to go back home and, you know, visit people and stuff, but there was just always more work.
Oh, okay. I see how it is. So, you know, Misty, they give you PTO for a reason, right? Like, you can put in for leave.
Yeah, I mean, I did a few times, but it was always denied, and I just, you know, you stop trying after a while.
I mean, of course, I say they give you leave. Like, you know, I don't think we have leave here, but, you know, my old unit.
Yeah, you know, 20 years of being denied leave, the field becomes home after a while.
Wait, they've been denying you leave?
Yeah, I've never left the field since I left high school.
What the fuck? And you wanted to be here?
I mean, of course, at first. Why wouldn't you?
So, there was this guy in my back home.
Learning that Misty's still deep in the Kool-Aid.
There was this guy back in Bostock who's like a friend of mine, and he joined up,
Mm-hmm.
and he wanted to go too, and he got told, oh, wouldn't you like to make a difference? Hearts and minds, fight the good fight, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And he did come back, and he was like deployed. Oh, what's a regular tour duty for? 4 years?
What do you mean tour?
Could we chain Misty's drive just by giving him just like a weekend? Is he just burned out?
The eternal sabbatical.
Misty, you've been here for 20 years.
Well, not here, but
You said you've been in the field since you joined up when you were like 16.
Yeah. Well, there was that like 6 weeks of training though. So I guess not the whole time.
Oh my god. You've been deployed for 20 years. That's like 5 tours of duty. Most people go home. Bro,
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yo, is that why you're like this?
I think that might be seen.
I like that this got turned around from what Misty expected.
Misty fully entering this, intending to be like,
Uh-huh.
you can't ever leave war once you come into it. And Basel just being like, no, most people leave war pretty quickly, actually.
Sometimes they die to do it, but they do leave.
That has to be the name of this Downtime episode. Is that why you're like that?
Oh, incredible.
All right, well, that brings us to the end of our free Downtime activities. We do still have quite a bit of resources to spend for additional activities.
How much can we keep after a downtime is over?
We can keep 4 personnel and 4 material.
Correct. Yeah, at minimum, you need to spend 3 supply points if you don't want to lose them.
Hex's, I think, I'm imagining it's been like a week since the mission, and in the just like the interstitials between these various scenes have been Hex just going on like almost like Looney Tunes-esque chases after this like random fucking Exodun infiltrator. And they've had enough. They are like, this is over. I'm ending this now, because what they're going to do is just lead this guy into another trap, and what will be inside is will be Ergo and Basel with what's Basil's weapon of choice when having to like fight directly? Is it a big wrench? Is it a pipe?
I think it is the humble and democratic baseball bat.
I'm Hex drawing their very imperialistic knife. And so I'm just they're just like, you're handing that shit over, or it's fucking over for you. I've had 3 different crashes into soda carts. You're fucking done, and I'm rolling these 3 dice.
Okay.
Oh my fucking god!
Incredible. That is a 3.
3?
That's a 3.
Yep.
And in fact, it's not done.
And in fact, it is not done. This cosplayer / undercover Black Ops operative of the Exodus Republic basically just wordlessly cuts a smirk at you and pulls their stupid little cyber visor down and disappears once again.
I do get them in the shoulder.
Basel takes a swing and hits air. Hits nothing.
That does put 1 more tick on this clock, leaving 3 remaining.
So someone else like to do something before Hex has a fucking fit again.
Well, it sounds like you're going to be doing this no matter what, so...
I do have something I'd like to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Please go ahead.
I'm going to spend 1 generic supply to make another roll on my long-term project. And this is going to be... Basel has these documents and is now studying them intently to make sure that if stopped or quizzed, we'll be able to answer correctly on any questions about like, oh, where are you from? What's your name, etc.
Do you want Ergo to start helping you now with this, since they offered and you're doing a role playing being the checkpoint whatever.
Yeah, we're just doing the bit from every Escape the Prison movie where they quiz you and then they trip you up at the last second to be like, you gotta watch that. Yeah, sure. Basel just being like, hey, Hex, so you're right. I am trying to get out of here, actually. I've already got a fake ID, you know. This is the good shit. I just am trying to, like, study up on not getting caught out while using it.
Okay. We're going to need to put you through a variety of scenarios to ensure that you're able to keep your cool no matter what.
What kind of scenarios?
Cut to scenario 1, where you're under an interview with an official, and hi audience. So I have a contact on my list that I haven't brought up yet. It's Tortellini, the inquisitive imp possum. Tortellini is just Hex's pet possum that they kind of came across when defecting in the month-long wandering, and has just kind of kept them around. And so they're doing this fake interview, but the side objective of this is to ignore the hissing, screaming possum jumping up in the middle of the table. What is your name again?
I'm gonna roll this first. I got a 6.
That's a 6.
It goes so fucking
So you're gonna fill this clock up.
Yeah. Basel manages to ignore Tortellini long enough to say, my name is I was about to say Basel Killian again. No. My name is September Faith.
Miss Faith, you it says here you're trying to leave the planet for what is for business or pleasure?
Tortellini is currently trying to go up your sleeve. Tortellini's like the fattest possum you've ever seen. There's no way. No way.
Incredible.
This is gonna work.
I guess it's kind of both. My ticket to CalazCon's over. I couldn't afford the full pass.
You understand we will need to check to make sure that you aren't carrying any illicit materials on your way back. Any special edition fan objects that need to be left on planet.
On cue, Tortellini starts checking your pockets for treats.
And documents.
I guess I have to fill out like a customs form about everything.
Tortellini hisses when you say customs form.
Yes, of course. You'll need to fill out the forms, and also, but as you're doing that, you need to declare what you have.
Oh, of course. Well, I've got this signed Ironmonger's jersey. It actually appeared in episode 428.
Ooh, that's a collector's item. That will need to stay off the planet. Tortellini starts chewing on the sleeve.
I guess.
It's really testing Basel to break character during this training.
Man.
I think that's where the scene is. Excellent work, Basel.
I'm sorry, my name is September Faith.
And then Tortellini runs up Hex's sleeve and perches on their shoulder.
Hell yeah. This fucking possum, the size of his fucking head.
Do I have to, like... I can still bring the jersey, though, right? Do I have to, like, hide it somewhere?
No, that was a part of the test.
I came here on a drop ship.
Basel, we're done. That was a test.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't...
But like, the...
Oh,
Uh-huh.
I think your jersey will be safe. No offense. I don't think most people are interested in your local team jersey.
Misty's interested in them. I don't know how he heard about the Bastock Ironmongers, but like,
he's a spook. Of course, he's heard about it.
Oh.
At this point, Misty happens to walk by and says, they like to ask about popular local eateries.
Wait, what?
I don't know what he was talking about.
Few people do.
It's dropping really good information, but without any context.
Okay. Well, Basel, you finish your light interrogation training to get through customs agents. So, yeah, you can mark down on your sheet. You do have fake IDs that will get you through at least one checkpoint when trying to get off planet. And a tick on your drive clock.
Oh, do I add a tick on my drive clock for the bleeding my long term? How does that work?
Yeah, you can go. Yes.
Okay.
That was part of the point of the project. Normally, drive ticks only get ticked after missions. So the only way you can get them during downtime is to complete a relevant project.
Okay.
All right. Who else wants to do something? We going back to Hex and the shenanigans, or are we going to...
I have 2 things as well. Well, 3, but 2 things. Misty comes back from their lucrative day of selling body pillows. Denny's collects what I assume is just a bunch of bags with dollar signs on them. Snatches some bills and saying, "Go on, mister, let's head out for the night."
So this sounds like you're doing a cut loose here with Misty, yeah?
Cutting loose. Yeah. I am going to take you to...
Misty says, I have to put this away first, and takes the body pillow to his cart.
It's just a body pillow full of money.
I'm going to take you to the Kaleidoscoping Sea Foam, which is a cargo hold labeled with Save the Seas by Creating Oceanic Economy. And it's a bunch of hollow images of aquatic species. We're going to the rave.
Wow, Misty, how come your mom lets you get taken to a rave?
All right, so I just want to lay some ground rules down. I'm heading out at about 1. That's usually around the time the night kind of turns dark for people at dances. Last call's coming, so people start getting desperate. People get into that weird drunk state where they feel like they've ruined the night and they're crying. I don't want to feel any of that. We're just going to go in, enjoy yourselves for a moderate night. You can stay. I'm leaving.
No, it's fine. I mean, normally I leave raves early because, the handoffs are done by then, so.
Yeah. We're not on a mission right now.
Oh, yeah. We're just, we're just going. Okay.
You can leave. Yeah, we're just going. All right. Dani, kind of just does not talk for the rest of the night unless spoken to.
Dani is simply absorbing vibes.
Yeah, got a lot of real good vibes going on, and I'm gonna...
I think Misty's okay with that because Misty is, trying to kind of, Misty's clearly worried that Dani might read him, and so he's, doing his best to do, a high school kid's version of dancing mixed with, because he's trying to forget his training and just be himself.
Do you feel awkward?
That's a telepathy question.
Dancing?
Yeah.
Oh, I think Misty kind of looks around.
No. This is. I am sensing you.
Oh, I see. Yes.
Yeah, I'm gonna make the cut loose roll now because I'm gonna see how well this goes.
It is gonna be a 1 die fortune roll here.
Yep, a 6.
Wow.
It doesn't go rancid.
Okay, cool. So you know what? I pull you into dance, and I'm respectful about it. I'm not weird about it. It's just 2 friendly people dancing, and I'm trying to get you to...
I heard that recovery.
Takes a whole hour to get Misty out of stop doing tactical TikTok dances.
And scanning the room.
You have to stop his instincts to take out every woo girl that approaches.
You're gonna go up to the DJ and ask for songs that are like, can Can you play some songs where the song goes, fellas, and then the fellas have to go, yeah. Thank you.
All right.
I think Misty eventually gets there, you know.
Yeah, I think I see you're willing to get there with me, and we get you there, and then I'm out. I'm gone. I'm sorry. The vibe's off. We gotta go.
Misty's just like, well, I guess the handoff's done, and turns and walks out.
Okay. I'll mark a new tick in the connection.
I'm going to put willing to open up if pushed. That is my new belief about you.
Okay. In the meantime, any other activities?
Okay, kids, it's time to fuck up. Attempt again to fuck up a...
It's time to go. You got 3 more ticks on this clock, Hex.
Would you like it if, for instance, Basel set the trap instead of having to consult on it?
What?
I'm suggesting I roll engineer to lay a trap.
Yeah.
It's just like kind of like a Looney Tunes type of trap where it's just ridiculous. Basil's like, okay, listen. So I actually had one of these from my last unit. They never, the quartermaster never came back for it. But this is a 6969 data processor. It's double nice, and it's actually really sought after by tech heads like me. And if we just kind of put it, there's a stall over there that doesn't have anyone on it. We can just kind of place it there as kind of the bait, play it like it's just here for sale, and you guys gonna kind of want to come for this, so we're just gonna.
And then the stall explodes, right? Is that what you're going to do, or was there?
I mean, I don't have the tools to make the stall collapse in on the guy.
Oh, okay.
Right now.
Mm-hmm.
What you do is you take your AR projector and you project a tunnel onto a brick wall.
No, that's like noob poning stuff. You only do that to somebody who's just learning what WASD is.
Basil's a gamer.
So you're rolling wreck?
I mean, that has more dice, but I don't think I'm rolling wreck. I don't think I am, let's see.
Letting the trap go is kind of wreck.
Also, you do have the saboteur ability. You could sabotage this something to maybe collapse on this person.
Oh, I know what it is. The way this works is that what's actually happening is instead of, there's no stuck pool. There's no, the stall doesn't turn into like a big cage. It's just that the data processor itself is booby trapped so that when you pick it up and it's in proximity of other AR tech, you will just get like tased.
Now we're talking.
And that's what the trap actually is. This is definitely a wreck. So I'm rolling 4 dice. And I rolled a 6, so that means that this just works.
And that is 3 ticks, finally. The Basel and Hex escapades.
Hex just standing there wearing like a fucking, like, ice cream workers might wear sometimes. It's just like, I hate him so much. I hate this guy. And, like, takes this stuff and then is like, empties his wallet. Takes out his phone, starts sending messages to everyone, telling like I quit, I quit, we're breaking up. Uploads a nasty program onto their phone that will, like, every time they send a text to one person, it will go out to everyone.
Acquired a temporary rival, yeah.
I'm chumping this man out too hard for him to be a rival. But yeah, thank you, Basel.
Yeah, unfortunately, the processor's kind of shot because we put a couple hundred joules through it.
Yeah, I don't need the processor.
So it's we can always scrap it for like the silicone and the copper and stuff.
Ever pragmatic. So we will need to add some new gear to your sheet, Hex, which is going to be optical camo, a miniature hack rig, which I think is going to be a hack rig with 1 load, I suppose, since we're keeping it as small as possible. Now, the hack rig carries load in the form of useful programs and viruses and that sort of thing. For the moment, Hex, you do not have access to any programs to load this thing with, but they could be acquired.
This will be really useful for just being able to be like, I have bonus effect on this thing. Why? I have this hack rig watch.
That's being taken care of. Are there any other downtime activities for folks?
I feel like Misty needs to cut loose again to lose some more stress, but I don't have any good ideas.
4 stress, which is
a lot.
Hefty. It's also within the danger zone of overindulging, but it's not likely. If you would like to do that, who would you like to do it with?
I feel like Misty hasn't done much with Hex so far.
Very fun to think about how you're going to hang out with Hex. When I think Hex has... I think of the crew, Hex has the lowest opinion of Misty.
I know, Misty, what's your current belief about Hex?
Their actions are understandable. I would have done the same.
Referring to their defection from the Jovangelian Empire. Yep.
And I think I think that's kind of the crux where Misty wants to, probably ultimately wants to talk to Hex about, what was it like to defect and leave, since it's definitely on Misty's mind.
Ooh, it's the trauma hour.
We play in Beam Saber. Do you have an idea for an activity to do this, or will it be around base while you're taking care of things, or?
Yeah, maybe so. Like, since Hex said that they were going to have to swab the mess hall or something earlier.
Yep.
Maybe Misty comes in and starts helping out.
Can I offer up a suggestion for something that you could be doing around the base?
Mm-hmm.
That could get the two of you alone, and that's basically doing your perimeter sweeps. Everybody has to take turns doing them, and it's the two of you right now. So we've got the two of you sweeping tunnels. You have a stereotypical big fat rat jump scare moment for the audience.
I think Misty tries to strike up a conversation more in the vein of recognizing you as a fellow professional, military professional type of thing. Feeling that's something that the two of you have in common in this squad.
What are the words he says?
Yeah, I think maybe there's some initial small talk and chit chat, and then Misty just kind of stops and goes, "Do you regret leaving and coming over to the DFS? Would you have done something different if you had to go back and do it again?"
I'd like to point out very quickly that during the chit-chat phase of this scene, Hex was being extremely frigid in answering. It was a lot of one-word answers.
I think Missy's is kind of used to that, so it wasn't deterring.
I didn't really have a choice. It wasn't really a thing I decided to do.
So you were kind of trapped and it needed to happen?
Yeah. The squad's gone. All promoted posthumously, or not really doing much. It was defect or have to go through the rigmarole of rebuild that team. And I was already injured severely at the time. The con had just showed up. Honestly, the only reason why I'm here with the DFS is because I needed a paycheck.
I see. Yeah, it didn't go great with my last squad either. We barely made it out, and then everybody kind of went their separate ways. And that was the longest I've ever been with a squad. We were together, I think, a little over a year.
Yeah, a year is no time. Misty, why are you asking me this? No offense, you're not that... I'm not gonna pretend and be that and say that a soldier is some honorable job, but I'm aware of the kinds of things you do. The kind of shit you do is... There's no...
Let's get that roll right in the middle of this sentence. It's going to be a 1 die fortune roll.
Land on the edge.
Well, what's happened is Misty has rolled a 6, which is honestly the worst possible result right now.
It's Chad's choice. But like, I feel like the thing has to be you overindulge and your connection with me goes to zero because I don't like. Because, like, I don't...
Well, what's happened here, Chad, is you have overindulged. You've relieved more stress than you had, which it turns out in Beam Saber is something you don't want to do.
Now, is there a way to resist this or mitigate it in any way?
There is not a way to resist it, but you do have a few different options you can choose here. So your options are going to be this interaction somehow attracts trouble, which means you'll roll an additional entanglement using the previous mission results. You spend time bragging, which means you take -2 trust with your patron faction. Or it leads to an impropriety, which means you make an ass out of yourself in front of the pilot that joins you, and you reset your connection clock with them to 0, which means you will not be able to assist Hex until you cut loose with them again. And create a new connection.
Yeah, that seems like the most appropriate one here.
Okay, so let's go back to that sentence we were in the middle of where Hex is saying, the things you do are...
The things you do are not sugar-coated. Don't fucking compare yourself to me.
Look, we definitely sugarcoat things. I mean...
Let me set this straight for you. I'm from here. I've seen the opposite side of what happens. If you want me to trade stories with you about what it's like to defect, like, that's fine. Don't pretend that you're chill, you're fine. That's not how this works. We've both done insurmountably horrible things to people and the folks who were fighting.
But I have to believe it was for a good reason, right? I mean...
No, it wasn't.
We've been fighting for so long. It has to be helpful. It has to be good at some point.
You're a grown-ass man. When are you going to understand that all of this whole war, it's not for us. It's not for anyone. It's not really for anyone. It's just those motherfuckers at the top. They want money. They want status. They want control. The only thing they want, the only reason why they came to Logel for a liberation mission, that's not true. What they want is just more people, more stuff.
Is this the point where Misty can't take it anymore and is just out?
I think Misty, very, defensively is like, well, maybe you're just still a sore loser given the state of the war, and, storms off.
Ergo is, laughing, kind of like...
That seems like that would set it back to 0.
Yeah, Ergo does not respond to generalized anti-Evangelion sentiment. It's just isn't even upset that Misty said that. It's just is that the thing you're going to use against me here? Your whole job is manipulating. I thought you were better than this.
I think we're finding that Misty is much more fragile under that when, he's not actively in a mission. He's starting to fall apart.
You love to hang out with someone and it's supposed to be chill, and then they literally say the Konami code to you having a freak out. just to be clear, isn't even deeply understanding of what the actual point of warfare is for factions is just oh, they just want stuff. Is very material, but not understanding, how actual states work.
Look, he's been on constant indoctrination for 20 years. Let my boy live.
Me fucking too.
Yeah, I think Misty understands how states work, but, refuses to, accept that. Is just now starting to understand that, hey, maybe I was indoctrinated. Maybe I am just a pawn of the state, but has always just thought of everybody else that way and assumed that, well, they can't be, right? Because they were special. They were recruited right out of high school. They've been told repeatedly they're in the field because good assets are hard to find.
You got your special little boy medal.
Took a lot of energy not to literally out loud say, all you do is destabilize economies of small planet nations. Stupid thing to say out loud in character.
Economy. You destroy planets' ecologies. What is a planet?
Now we do still have 3 material, 3 personnel that are available to be spent. If anyone wants to take further activities, we do have harm still on 2 characters. If anybody wants to make use of Dr. Rose's and Clover's services before she leaves.
I'm gonna say this out loud. Ergo is not necessarily going to go to the doctor unless pressured in some way. Especially because over the past couple of days, they rapidly found that it was less of a... having an open wound on their body was less of a problem than it used to be.
You feel like you just get used to having shrapnel embedded in your torso at some point. Now, this does sound like it'd be a good opportunity for somebody to offer an assist on this in the form of, hey, bud, can you just, stop bleeding on everything?
I think Misty, after the cut loose with Hex, and is able to calm down some, goes to Basel and is like, your friend Hex should really do something about those wounds. It was pretty obvious.
Your friend.
Your best friend.
And then just walks off.
Basel is around, just kind of, looking at Hex, kind of is that? Did you? And then just, pokes you. It's like, hey, Hex, you're... How come you've got old bloodstains on everything you're wearing?
Do I? Looks down and there's definitely a shade there, but it's gotten to the... It's the shirt has been washed now that it's just a vague patch. It's I don't...
Basel pokes you right on where the stain originates.
They definitely hiss a little bit.
Uh-huh.
What is this about? What?
Didn't you go running through the sewer yesterday?
What about it?
With an open wound?
It's not open. I have a bandage on it, and I lift up the shirt a little bit. It is nicely put together first aid, but also it's first aid. Unfortunately, it's not the second or third aid.
Dani, the doctor that Dani found creeps me out, but in theory, you would even get better by... going over there, get some third aid, maybe even fourth aid.
Well, I can say this will be a 7-die recover roll with an assist.
Can you come with me and talk to her so she isn't talking to me? Because I saw the report. A cosplaying doctor, I don't care how good they are, they have to shut the fuck up.
I'll do the talking. You're right. I'll do the talking.
As you enter the infirmary, Roses and Clover turns around dramatically, operating table, and says, a wasp enters the spider's nest. Worry not, I only eat flies.
I need to go, I need to get out of here.
Basel, catches your coat, and kind of halfway turns around, swinging you back into the room. And says, but should not the spider look out for the wasp that stings even in death? Clearly reading something from WikiQuote.
There will be death only when I deem it. On the table with you. Okay, and now roll 7 die to recover. And that's a crit. All right. So that'll get you 5 ticks, which will drop your shrapnel down to level 1 harm, which I think we'll just call scarred.
And because of my ability, Tough as Nails, which lowers the penalties of harm down by 1, level 1 harm has no effect on me other than it just being in the box.
Yep, it just takes up a slot. That is true.
I do have a question. Since the healing clock rolled over, does that not also mean that level 1 harms go away?
Base rules mean you got to fill that clock up again if you want it to go away during the same downtime. Otherwise, it'll go away at the end of the next mission.
That's fine. Honestly, the person who really needs to get rid of their level 1 harm is Dani.
That is true. Dani does still have her level 1 harm as well, with 1 tick in that healing clock. It'll only take a roll of a 6 to make it alleviate the creeped out condition.
Well, I'm afraid I'm not doing that.
I do think we do get a little shot of as they're walking back from the honestly, Hex probably having to get stitches. Thank you. You have put a lot of effort into helping me for the past couple of days, and it's been a while since someone really stood by me for so long.
Listen, Hex, you're offering to help me just kind of, vanish from this place? Hestial's, I guess, fine. I've only really seen it in terms of blowing it up. Yeah, but getting out of the DFS military is going to be time and a half, and I want to repay you, I want to square it up.
When we get back to the base, for a half a second, Dani, Hex is glowing with appreciation, and then it's gone, like a light bulb being turned off. Anything else? Anything else anyone is doing?
I do have the activity I wanted to do until I was psychically attacked. So this is a psychic attack on another kind, because I'm going to be training my resolve. So what's that documentary? Well, based on a true event.
Oh, Calazar Stories, Bright Shining Stars.
Yeah, so she's going to watch it. Originally, she tries to get it on her computer, but DFS firewall has prohibited piracy. And she doesn't know how to work around it. So she goes to a screening of it.
Ooh.
Sitting way in the back with an audience.
Now this is some resolve training.
Yeah.
Because let me tell you, those folks are gonna be having some thoughts.
Well, unless... Oh no. So I don't think it's a revealing interaction because the story is bullshit. Big shocker there. Since this is a story as graciously given by one Chief Warrant Officer to Zachary Robertson. So what had happened, the first mission after they had been set into squads, after their the experimentations were over and they were given basic training. And I would like to note that I came up with this mission myself and not at all running to Austin Ramsey and saying, Austin, I don't know what to do. Can you please give me one of the convention missions? And he didn't say, absolutely, here you go. This is all me. So don't listen to his lies either. The hyenas were transporting a package over a land route. We were given the option to capture it and don't let the package be harmed. Turns out, setting a bunch of psychics into a field, mostly untrained, ranging from ages to 18 to 22, weren't the best team. The package was severely harmed. The package was actually a deployment of scientists. We managed to extract 3 of the 10. I think it was very difficult for Dani to watch it, even if it was, again, a very creative retelling of the story, particularly because I want to say 3/4 of the squad are dead now. Some of them died on the field. Most of them didn't. Zach tells a story.
Is it that the remaining members are Dani and Zach? Or is there another one?
There's another one who she does keep in contact with, but not frequently. They only saw one loss that day on their side, fortunately. But yeah, it was sort of more presented a lot more competently than it really was. Zach, of course, was the leader, according to the film. Dani is the nerd who never saw herself as beautiful until Zach saw something in her. Generally incompetent and untrusting of her abilities. Unfortunately, as much as Dani doesn't want to admit it, that part is true. I think that there's a big undercutting of a love story plot. This is basically Pearl Harbor, where they like forget about the actual military thing until like 2 hours in. And now she knows. And she did not blow up that movie theater. So resolve training done.
And that's the last point in your resolve track, so you can put an action point in one of these.
Yeah, I'm getting into command.
Okay. Any other last minute activities for you folks?
You know what? We got this much money the first time. It's fine if we we'll get the same amount, right? You know?
That's right. Mm-hmm.
It's all on
Yeah,
Rex's dime. Yeah, so I'm gonna train personally.
That's how dice work. Spend one personnel, put it in training, and you can put 1 XP in your playbook track.
Yeah, I don't think this is any particular scene. I just think this is just like we're getting shots of like us getting ready for the next mission. Basel getting more cans of Bang ready.
If that's all the downtimes, then I have an ability. An envoy ability, a little something on the side at the end of each downtime phase, make fortune roll. Using the squad's tier, add 1 tick to the drive clock if the result is a 4 or higher.
All right, so that's a 3-die fortune roll for you then.
Cool.
You've rolled a crit. That doesn't get you any additional benefit, but you got a real strong drive tick. Yeah.
Yay.
Dani lets out a confetti gun when you do it.
What was that for?
It's a secret, can't tell you.
She was feeling.
I just, I got the impression that it was appropriate right now. I'm not sure why.
It felt right.
Our boy Misty had some kind of realization within himself, and I just had to celebrate.
The confetti gun goes off randomly. Hex pulls a gun, just like where's the enemy?
Okay, this closes up our downtime. As we draw to a close, we've had some relationships built, some relationships shattered, some wounds healed, and a lot of projects completed. So everyone heading back in from your various tasks. As the last of you enters, Rex Nevermore says, well, time to get ready for the next one. Closes the door on the train, and we fade to black.
Thanks for listening to CalazCon. This episode was edited by ScienceBird. You can find them on Twitter as @Vetero. That's VETARO. Sound balancing for this episode was done by Christine Blight. You can reach her for voice acting at CVBlight@gmail.com. The show's music is by Devin Nelson. You can find all of their work at devindecibel.com. If you'd like to support CalazCon, you can find us on Patreon at patreon.com/CalazCon. Please tell your friends about the show too. Remember, all glory to Calazar.